So it's about 5:30 here in the heart of downtown Honolulu. Hopefully you guys can hear me over all the car noise and stuff. But in about an hour, I start my insane work stretch of 3 12-hour shifts, followed by 1 day off, thankfully, and followed by another 3 12-hour shifts. All this work to get the work out of the way before I head out on a solo trip. Check it. Hopefully you guys, oh hello, look at all these people flying above me. Not people, but Manu-o-Kū flying above me. Thanks to the early summer sunrises, I've noticed an increase of sightings and activity of Manu-o-Kū on my way into work. So I figured use this last stretch of work before summer ends, take the opportunity to do a little bit of birding before work. And that's exactly what we're doing here this morning. I'm gonna post up shop here by this nesting tree and see if I can get one flying with this beautiful orange glow in the background. Oh, right there. I'm gonna try to go across the street and see if I can shoot back using the sunlight and see if we can get a shot. That way, at least the shadows won't be so harsh, but I think I got the perfect idea for it. Just walk right underneath these guys here. Hello, friends. Ah, perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Ooh, nice pear shot right here. This is cuckoo bananas. Got 2 hanging out right above us here, and then got a bunch of them flying in these trees here. So I'm gonna try and see if I can get one crossing the tree line, getting it in flight. That'd be pretty awesome. All right, so work. Work is not this green building behind me. That's the Board of Water Supply. Work is the building that's just off to the left here. And it's the Queens Medical Center right in the heart of downtown Honolulu. And Honolulu is actually the only place, hang on, there's one flying in that tree. So yeah, Honolulu is the only place on the main Hawaiian Islands where the Manu-o-Kū nests. And it's weird because it's like, you got this busy hustle and bustle of like a big city. It's the only big city here, essentially, in our state. And yeah, the Manu-o-Kū really do seem to love it. In fact, they've kind of built up almost like a tolerance towards us humans. I mean, like, we're standing right below a pear and they don't seem to give a shit. So it's pretty cool to see, pretty cool to witness. And it's thought that the urban environment actually is quite helpful to these birds because unlike regular birds, they don't actually like form like a nest with like branches and twigs and stuff. They just look for a cup-shaped kind of bowl shape in the branch and just kind of lay their egg right there. And those chicks and those fledglings will stay there until they're ready to start flying. And yeah, it's thought that like the urban environment and tree trimming and tree maintenance is actually helpful in that effort. You know, and these guys, they are seabirds. So obviously during the daytime, they go fly out towards the ocean. They go and fish and stuff. But in the early morning hours, you can see them hanging out, either doing what they're doing right now, kind of hanging out in their tree branch, just chilling, maybe taking a nap, maybe just, you know, touching up their feathers before they go impress the ladies at the beach. Or you can find them just kind of flying in and out of these trees and flying around these trees. And that's exactly what we've got here this morning. We've got a couple of them hanging out and flying around over there. And yeah, it seems like they're just kind of rotating themselves out. They'll come inside the trees, hang out for a bit, then start flying again. So I need to see one coming in from this side. Oh, frickin' hell. What the heck? What the heck? Watch right in front of us here. Come this way, come this way, come this way, come this way. Yeah, yep. Hopefully you guys can see, they're literally going in circles around me. Watch, 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 watch. Oh, what the heck? Come on, one more time, one more time, one more time, one more time. With the board of water supply in the background. Hello. What is going on right now? It's a cool shot because it's like, oh, you clearly know what building that is. All right, well, I don't think there's any way I can top that for this morning, but we'll try a different spot tomorrow. I mean, this is definitely probably like the hot spot for bird action, but we're gonna try some different ones, try to get some different shots, different angles. But man, what an experience before work. Ah, beautiful. I love bird photography. Whew, just finished up 16-hour shifts. That was quite brutal, but hopefully I can get up tomorrow morning because yeah, it's day 2 of birding before work, so this is gonna suck. Good morning, day 2 of birding before work. A little bit of a late start since I got I clocked out late yesterday. So finished work, 11:30. We're back out here closer to 6 o'clock. So we should be shooting right now, but you know, sleep is a thing. Anyways, yeah, I'm walking into work. I'm gonna try and see where to go. There is a spot that I wanted to try on the other side of campus, not on Queen's campus, but across the street, that I don't think I have the time for it. Plus, we have some other days to go further that direction, maybe when we have a little bit more time to do that, to walk over there. So I think I'm just gonna head back to the board of water supply because it's kind of on the way towards work. And yeah, I'm just thinking, we got such good stuff there yesterday. What could go wrong about trying to get more good stuff over there today? So yeah, I think that's what we're gonna do. Check out this beautiful earth shadow action happening right now. It's amazing. These are not the birds that we're looking for. Try to look closely at this branch here. What is that? I don't think my eyeballs are working that well this morning, but that looks like a chick to me. Very, very cute. So let's see if we can get some portrait shots of him looking at us. Okay, so this is pretty sweet. I like this type of birding, just kind of sitting perched and waiting. Got the tripod set up, a little sketchy. There's the Peak Design travel tripod with the big ass teleconverter setup. It works in a pinch, but it was not easy to set up here. But yeah, cute little guy. Right now, it's just kind of looking up towards the sky. I think it's still kind of sleeping, but hopefully it'll give us a look a little bit further down, you know, as the sun starts to rise. And as the adults start to get active, you know, they were pretty active over here yesterday, but not so much right now. But we'll see. Hopefully that activity will pick up in a second. Is that the parental? Kind of waking up a little bit, it's opening its eyes a little bit more. You know, an ideal shot I think would be if like the adult landed on the branch right next to it and started feeding it. I think that'd be really cool to see. Maybe we'll come back here and check on our lunch break, see if the parents have caught any food for the day and bring it back to the chick. But yeah, it's pretty cool sight to see. Ooh, parental action. Ooh, we got the bird, the parental landing. It doesn't have anything in its mouth, but it's checking up on his chick. Oh, this is so cool. I'm just grabbing some video, but I need to grab stills. Oh yes, come closer. Oh, this is so awesome to see both the adult and the chick. I don't know what it's doing right now. Breastfeeding. They're kind of scrunching together on the branch there. Yeah, it looks like he's just nesting on top of him. Manu-o-Kū literally translates to bird of Kū. So these birds were pretty much like a physical manifestation of the war god Kū. And yeah, because these birds kind of fly out towards the ocean and come back to land throughout the day, fishermen would almost use them as guides because yeah, their presence and their movements kind of indicated that land was close and nearby. And yeah, there are some things written online that mention them as being Aumakua or ancestral gods, much like the Pu'eo, the Io, physical manifestations of the ancestral spirits in Hawaiian culture. And I guess, yeah, Manu-o-Kū was one of them. All right, well, I think I better pack it up. We got some decent footage, I think, of the adults and the little baby, Manu-o-Kū. But he's kind of covering him up, and I don't think there's gonna be very much more to shoot unless the activity really starts to pick up. But another solid morning of birding before work, honestly. But I do want to show you something interesting that will come in handy in tomorrow's section of the video. I think we've got the Manu-o-Kū nest that's over here, and that's attached to a tree with no blue band, but we do have a blue band here. So maybe we check out this tree tomorrow. Try to see if we can find the chick that's stuck in this guy here. And there's another blue branch. If we walk a little bit more this way, the blue bands that we saw here. This tree also had a blue band right there. So yeah, in the next segment of the video, we'll talk about how to report a nest, how to find nests, active nests, and we'll talk about the organization that makes all of that possible. Welcome everybody, day number 3 of birding before work. Today's a weekend, Saturday, so we get to park on campus, which is nice because that gives us the opportunity to get eye level with these birds. But in addition to that, I got put on call, so hence why I'm wearing clothes that are more like birding appropriate. I do have a change of clothes in the off chance that I do get called in, hopefully not, but that means that we have ample amount of time to go birding this morning. So yeah, I decided to still come into work because this is one of the best locations to photograph the Manu-o-Kū, but at least we're not working. I do believe there's a couple of them over here. Oh yeah, right there. So this is a tree that's very, very frequented by the Manu-o-Kū. I've seen them perch and land in this tree before, just on occasion coming into work on the weekends. And they are right, can you see them? So no nest as of yet, but they are in kind of sort of nesting position. It's so cool. I'm gonna try to grab a couple of shots of those guys, of course. And then also at the same time, because we're up here in this tree, I'm gonna try and keep an eye out to see if there is a chick in this area. Or a nest in this area, so yeah, good stuff, good stuff. So cool, they're right there. Oh my lord, 200 mil, or 300 mil I mean. It's too tight for these guys. At least because we're so close to them. I don't think I've ever, actually they do fly pretty close, but I don't think I've ever been this close to a Manu-o-Kū. So, I mean, they're not really doing anything in terms of like action as of yet. So I think it's probably okay to switch to the Tern 28 to 200 to just get some tighter shots of them. And because we are at work, but not really at work, gives the perfect excuse to bring out the monstrosity of a tripod. Just gotta very carefully set it up on this very sketchy parking lot railing here. Oh, they're grooming each other. Look at this. So yeah, best way to tell is all these doo-doo droppings right here. Bird droppings, and then right above the bird droppings are the nesting pair, or the pair that we have right here. So that's probably, aside from the blue band, the easiest way to identify the nest. Like yesterday when we found the tree with the chick, that was one of the things that kind of gave that tree away, was the fact that we found those bird droppings right underneath where the chick was. I do see bird droppings down there and over there on the ramp. So maybe if we descend, I mean, we can't really see anything from here because all the branches are blocking, but maybe if we descend a little bit lower to some lower levels, we might be able to get some action. So maybe some chick action. We'll see. We'll give it a try. Some of the biggest threats to these birds are predators, and a lot of the times the threats are, of course, to the little chicks that fall out of the tree. Yeah, the chicks will nest in the exact same area where they hatch, in the kind of cup-shaped branch. And sometimes those branches blow in the wind, they fall down, they fall onto the ground, and either they die from the fall or they get eaten by a bigger animal. Yeah, they'll get preyed on by feral cats, other bigger birds, predator birds, and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, if you do ever find one on the ground, you want to call the Manu-o-Kū hotline. And I'll put the phone number down here. Let me just pull it up on my phone. It's saved in my contacts. But it's 808-379-7555. And talking back to me. They're like, yes, please save us if you find us on the ground. So call the hotline. They'll give you instructions on what to do, how to either contact other authorities to see if the bird needs any medical attention or whatnot. And if it is a chick, what people will do, what this organization will do, and we'll talk about them in the next section of this video, is they'll come out with almost like paint rollers and long paint rollers. They'll put the chick on top of the paint roller and then just, you know, airlift him back up to the branch that he was nesting on, and he'll go back on the branch. Anyways, let's go downstairs, see if we can find any more birds in this parking lot. Oh, yep. There they are. Flying around, going cuckoo bananas. I'm going cuckoo bananas because I'm literally in a parking lot photographing birds. I think I saw a pair land a little bit lower, so we'll go down a little bit more. This is like the action tree right here. It's like you get one bird that flies inside, then the other birds all go crazy, and like they're like, no, get out of here, we don't like you, this is our home. And yeah, it's kind of cool just to watch the interaction between them all. There's two on that branch over there. I can't tell if there's a... Oh, there is a chick. I see it. Okay, we found one. We found one. I think if we go down one more level, it's going to be perfect. Oh, shit. He landed, and I saw the chick's head come out from behind the branches there. Problem is, the further down Get inside the capture clip, damn it. The problem is, the further down we go in the parking lot, the more crowded it gets, so the more awkward it gets. I don't care, there's a chick. See, this is what I mean, why it's gonna be a challenge. Look at what we have to deal with here. Rows and rows of employee parking. Same thing on this side. But thankfully, we've got these pillars here that give us the perfect little space to kind of set up shop. And the birds are right far out in the distance there, but eye level visible. Yeah, we found one. Another nest that we need to report, and we'll talk about reporting it. I guess we'll talk about reporting it in this video, or in this section right here, since we have time. But yeah, this is definitely a set up the tripod kind of thing. Oh, it's a super, super tight space, but there he is. Another chick shot, another eye level chick shot. Oh, we'll take it. I will take it nonetheless. Anyways, Manu-o-Kū, I mentioned earlier, is the conservation organization that protects these beautiful white terns, or Manu-o-Kū. And yeah, they're essentially the ones that will respond if there's, a chick on the ground or an adult on the ground, and they're the ones that will give you instructions on, what to do if you ever encounter one of these injured or birds in distress. They're also the ones that go out and scout all these locations and find active nests and mark it with the blue bands. That way the tree trimmers and the construction workers and stuff are aware of their presence, so they don't cut the tree and cut the branch that the birds are nesting on. They also make maps on their website that indicate where the active nests are. And this is a great thing for us photographers, because when we're able to locate the active nests in an area that we're going to be in, we can just be extra cautious and extra careful to be looking up at the trees, trying to see if we can find the chick, find the egg or whatever. And then there's even a section of that area on their website that indicates active nests that would be good for photographs. So it's a very, very helpful resource for us photographers to have when photographing these guys. But obviously, these birds are propagated so far across downtown Honolulu, and they're so common and they're so dispersed around this one small little area that it's really impossible to know exactly where every active nest is at the exact time. So that's why it's important for us birders, us photographers, to report active nests, take pictures, and do that kind of stuff whenever we do see a nest and we get the opportunity to report it. That way we can get that blue band marking on the trees. That way the trees don't get cut while we have active nests, and these birds just get more and more protected. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do now. I'm gonna take an iPhone shot of the tree, in alongside the road, maybe zoom in, take pictures of the chick and the adult nesting with it. Just take some iPhone footage. We could submit our professional bangers, but those are for us. Back on the ground level. Maybe this feels a little less awkward. Still feels awkward as fuck though. Take a quick iPhone shot for reporting reasons. Oh, all right, so the adult just flew off, leaving the chick alone. He's gonna go hunt for some food. Maybe I'll go back up and wait, see if anything gets caught. I don't know, I kind of don't have the patience for that. I kind of want to go home and take a nap and take advantage of the fact that I got called off of work. But yeah, beautiful little morning that we've got here today. Beautiful shots of the chicks and all that. Good stuff for birding before work, day number 3. We'll be back for 3 more days after this, after our 1 day off, and yeah, let's see how that goes. Trying to dodge my own door, trying to open it. But I just found like the perfect perched spot to catch a Manu-o-Kū chick with the feeding. So hopefully that happens this morning. Gotta get the camera out before it's too late. But we are here birding before work, but I just wanted to take a minute to plug my upcoming calendars for 2026. Show you guys what we're talking about here, but we've got a very cute little Manu-o-Kū chick right there. He's a chunky baby, but you got this horizontal branch right here. So hopefully it'll be perfect for mama to come and feed. We'll get a nice, perfectly framed shot with those 2 birds having that beautiful interaction between all of those kukui trees and the leaves and stuff like that. So, and hopefully we'll be able to use the shots that we get today for next year's calendar. So every year, since, you know, like past 3 or 4 years, I've been making a calendar to kind of like match like a theme of what I've been shooting over, you know, the past year or so. Last year we did a calendar that was focused on Milky Way because we did so much astrophotography. And this year the theme is definitely all about the birds. And, you know, so much so that I took so much beautiful pictures of birds that I couldn't fit all the birds into one single calendar. I had to kind of split them up into 2 separate calendars. So I made one calendar for forest birds, and that focuses on, you know, the Hawaiian honeycreepers, the iiwi, apapane, akea pola'au, as well as like the predator birds like the pueo and the io. And then I had to split up and make a whole other calendar for water birds essentially, and that features seabirds like the Manu-o-Kū, the koa'ai'ula, koa'ikea, the Eva bird, as well as marsh birds like the Io, the alai'ula, alaikeokeo, the oku'u, those kind of birds. So I'm super stoked about these calendars, and I'm just kind of putting my finishing touches and trying to get like the best shot possible before my deadline to submit the calendars for printing. But you know, the thing about these calendars this year that I'm the most excited about is that a good substantial portion of the profits generated from these calendars are going to be donated to various conservation organizations to help the preservation of these native birds. So definitely check out the link to my website in the description of this video for all the details regarding these 2 calendars. And we've got action. We've got adult action landing. I gotta get a better angle. Ooh, feeding. Ooh, these shots might make their way into the calendar this year. Ooh, I cannot believe it worked out. The timing of everything just worked out perfectly like that. But yeah, just a quick little calendar plug if you are interested in purchasing a new calendar for this next upcoming year. what is it today now? Day 3? No, we're way past day 3. I think we're on day number 5 of birding before work. We are heading back towards the nest that we found on the first day, or on the first or second day, over by Board of Water Supply, right here. There's Board of Water Supply. But I actually parked on campus today because I'm starting to get tired of walking to work. So I figured I'd be a little bit lazy. So I figured, what the hell, we'll come back, walk over towards the nest, because I can guarantee you we'll get at least one bird today, and try to see if we can get some better shots of this nest here with the adult and the chick, with hopefully a better background than what we got on the second day. I mean, the shots weren't bad. They're actually quite nice, but I figure we can do better, and I think I know exactly how we can do that, especially with that tripod behind me. But yeah, today's section of the video is going to be all about the camera gear that I've been using over the past 4 or 5 days. So this is definitely the section for all you gearheads. Shout out to David. Okay, can't see it on the video, but the chick is right there. So yeah, the last time we were here, we were standing right around there and shooting up towards the chick this way. And that included all of this nasty clear sky in the background. Not the best for wildlife photography. So I think I'm gonna go across the street there, shoot back towards the tree this way, hopefully get some of these tree branches in the background. All right, well, if you've been following the channel for a little while by now, you already know what camera gear I use to shoot. This is the Alpha 1 Mark II, is the camera body, and this is the 300mm G Master lens right here. And most of the time I've been shooting with this setup, essentially like, you know, with just these 2 setups without the teleconverters, because these mornings are usually very dark. So yeah, there usually isn't enough light to be able to use the teleconverters. I'm going to line up this shot, assuming that the adult is going to come back at some point, and hopefully when the adult does come back, that chick turns around, gives us the opportunity to photograph it from this angle. Because yeah, I really like this particular angle for the shot. But you know, from this angle, you can see the backpack that I've been using over the past couple of days. This is the Backlight Sprint. Made a review video of this particular bag. It's a super nice, minimal camera bag to just carry the essential photography camera gear. Inside here, I don't really have a whole lot of extra stuff. Let's see. You've got this section here that had the main setup, the Alpha 1 with the 300. Got the big boy vlog camera up here, the ZVE one. Haven't used it, but got the Tamron 28-200, and that's come in clutch. You know, when we were photographing up in the parking lot, I found that it's a lot easier to not only see these birds, to like track them and stuff, but also to shoot, obviously with the sun to your back. Yesterday and the day before that, I was almost shooting into the sun, and it was very difficult to, number one, find the birds and track them, but also to be able to get a good shot, because most of the time when you're shooting into the sun, you've got this bright white sky in the background. It just doesn't make for as nice of images. Time to go in to work, unfortunately. Got some cool shots, cool portrait shots of the chick, but of course it's not like the money winner shot that we're looking for. So I think we'll try it again tomorrow. But yeah, it's gonna be very awkward walking into work with this monstrosity of a tripod on my back, but it is what it is. Yeah, one last chance to get this shot. Hopefully we can pull it off tomorrow morning. It's our last day, day 6 of 6 of birding before work. And physically, I can't wait for this stretch to be over. Physically, it's very, very taxing waking up at the butt crack of dawn to come out here super early and photograph these guys. But there's also a part of me that's like sad that it's coming to an end, because I've really enjoyed my time here in downtown photographing these beautiful birds. And yeah, you know, there's a part of me that is kind of sad that we won't be doing this for at least another week. Maybe we'll pick it up again when we come back from our trip. But yeah, let's give it another try. Got our mother Manu-o-Kū nesting next to the chick. I think the chick is visible, but set the tripod up and see what we can do. But in this section of the video, I wanted to talk about that all-important why we threw away our common sense, essentially. Threw away our common sense and decided to pursue this insane mission of birding before work 6 days in a row. Yeah, so I think people have enough common sense to maybe not put themselves through this physical misery of having to wake up stupid early to go birding. But yeah, most people on their work stretches, I think, probably would appreciate sleeping in just a couple more minutes. But yeah, that extra half hour to an hour of rest definitely sounds appealing, especially after working like consecutive shifts in a row, or working a 16-hour shift and coming back with less than 8 hours of sleep. You know, most people with common sense, I think, would want to maximize the amount of rest they get in between these shifts. But yeah, I don't think that anybody is necessarily jumping out of bed excited to go to work. But by adding this extra layer of motivation of doing something that I really, really enjoy doing, bird photography before work, it just gave me that extra dose of excitement. And I felt actually really, really motivated to get up early, come out here, go to work. And it was just so much easier to get out of bed. Whereas usually I'd have to kind of like lie in bed for a little while, drag myself out, get myself ready, and then drive to work. And then I'm going into work kind of like sluggish and, you know, low energy and just not all that motivated. But yeah, I found that having this extra piece of motivation to get up and out of bed, it felt so much better than actually trying to maximize the amount of sleep that I get. Because, you know, when you have got consecutive work shifts in a row, you don't usually get the most restful night of sleep anyways. So if you know, sacrifice half an hour to an hour of sleep, it's like, you know, it is what it is. You know, you weren't going to be sleeping in anyways. So you might as well add on the extra, or at least in my mind, you might as well add on the extra half hour or an hour that you have to wake up early, and use that time and dedicate it to doing something that you love and something that you actually would want to do and actually want to wake up early for. And yeah, even when we're talking about like going into work after we were finished birding, I found myself, whether or not that was because I was rushing to get into work, but it's that adrenaline rush that I got from birding as well as rushing into work and just, yeah, doing all that kind of stuff. I felt like that energy definitely helped me at least start my day. It didn't necessarily sustain me. I definitely hit a physical wall kind of right before lunch, and then I'd have to use my lunch break to kind of like pick myself up and like drink some caffeine and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, just that initial surge of energy at the start of my shift is definitely something that I appreciated, whereas usually when I'm working, I'm usually starting my shift off slow, just kind of trying to wake myself up a little bit more. But yeah, the energy that we got from birding before work, I found carried me through my shift and definitely provided me with more energy despite being less energized physically. You know, we often think of wildlife photography as this activity that you have to like put in a whole lot of effort, both physically and mentally, in order to do. You know, hiking far back into the backcountry, into like the deep, deep wilderness, and sitting there and waiting for hours and hours on end just to see and encounter the birds or whatever animal it is that you're chasing. Doesn't really matter, but you get the point. That's what wildlife photography is associated with. But I'd like to challenge that I guess, mindset of what it means to be a wildlife photographer. I think being a wildlife photographer truly means that you're just paying more attention to your surroundings. And, you know, I think that's just, you know, like what photographers do in general, but wildlife photography especially. Sometimes beautiful wildlife opportunities can happen right in front of you. Like right now, we've got one circling. Nope, we're not. Oh yeah, he is gonna circle right above our heads here, flying up and away. But yeah, sometimes wildlife photography can be easy. It can be simple. It doesn't have to require us hiking far into the backcountry. It can just be, you know, watching birds on your short little walk to work every day and pulling out the camera if you notice a good photo opportunity. Because yeah, I can probably bring my camera along and just pull it out if I see like a new nest, or if I see, you know, a lot of activity. Probably wouldn't bring out the whole tripod setup like I usually do every single day, but at least, you know, this hour to a half hour just to kind of walk around this area, check the trees, check the nests, check the birds out. Being able to practice bird photography not only gave me the motivation to drag myself out of bed when I'm otherwise feeling drained, but it also allowed me the opportunity to witness these beautiful and blissful moments before my inevitably chaotic work shift. But yeah, these birds are just a beautiful metaphor to remind us that, you know, despite the chaotic environment that a lot of us live in, hustle and bustle of cities and balancing and juggling personal life, family life, and whatnot, there's still time and space to carve out for peace and tranquility. We just have to give ourselves like that little bit of time, that little bit of extra time, wake ourselves up a little bit earlier, half an hour to an hour earlier in order to experience that. But it is there if we decide to go out and chase it. But yeah, let me know in the comments what would motivate you to wake up at stupid o'clock early before work to capture, you know? Maybe it is something like the Manu-o-Kū or the white tern, or maybe it's something else. Woo! We got some action happening behind us right now. Beautiful. But yeah, I gotta go to work. I start work in 20 minutes. We really stretched this one out, cutting this one close, but yeah. Thanks so much for watching. If you like this type of content, we're not really traveling. We're not really on vacation, but photography type of vlogs. Usually I'm traveling or doing something else. But yeah, if you like this type of travel, vacation, a little bit of photography, education, hit that like button, comment below, subscribe if you aren't already. See you guys in the next video. Peace out.